Yes, I do. How many
You
amendments
sure?
are in the Constitution, sir?
Enough. Too many, actually.
You don't know, do you?
28, I believe.
It's 27. You're close. Wait, so then the FBI wasn't involved in January 6th because he pardoned everyone at January 6th.
No, he pardoned the people that.
Why do you support Trump?
Well, number one, no tax on tips. Number two, no tax on overtime. Number three, no tax on Social Security. I love the way he shut the border down. We cannot have a country with open borders.
Okay. So those were actually small aspects of the big beautiful bill. Most of the tax policy went to the richest Americans, to the
Where do you
wealthiest
have that
Americans,
proof?
and it cut over 10 million people off their access to health insurance, 2.5 million people off their access to food stamps on average every month, and over 420,000 kids on average every single month off their access to free school lunch and breakfast.
Do you believe
While
we have
adding
starving?
$3.4
Do you
trillion
believe we have
dollars to the
starving
debt.
people in it?
So although I like aspects of the bill, such as the no tax on tips deduction, no tax on overtime deduction, no tax on Social Security deduction, things like that, you can point to those as benefits. That still doesn't address the reality that most of the bill went to the richest Americans, and that Democrats
Where,
would have maintained all of those elements of the bill.
wait a minute. You say the Democrats would have maintained. The Democrats won't maintain anything that a Republican puts up.
What
You
are you
know
talking
that,
about?
and I know that.
Kamala Harris advocated to keep all the tax cuts applicable to income earners under $400,000 a year through the
What was
context of the
what
big
was
beautiful
Kamala
bill.
Harris doing?
Hmm?
What was Kamala Harris doing?
What do you mean? What was she doing?
He was trying to get elected.
Okay, and so was Trump, right?
He did get elected.
So you could say the same thing about Biden at the last election, but Trump wasn't willing to accept that.
Do you believe in the Constitution?
Yeah, Trump doesn't.
Oh, he doesn't? Well,
No.
show me where he is not.
He called for the
Obeys
he
the
called for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution.
Where do you say that?
On Truth Social in 2022.
2022. Well,
Yes.
Let me see. That was what Joe Biden's COVID era.
That was after Trump lost the 2020 election. He couldn't accept it, and years later then called for the termination of the Constitution because he didn't like the election results. It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing to you, but how come Fulton
course it's
County,
embarrassing.
Atlanta is now? How come Fulton County, Atlanta is now changing their position on the election?
I don't think there's been a changed position on the election. There's no court case that determines that Donald Trump was right about the election. Every single court case has indicated he's wrong. Every single audit has indicated he's wrong. There's literally no supporting evidence that is solid in support of the idea that Donald Trump won the 2020 election. It is
Well,
utter
regardless
nonsense
whether
that,
he won
and
it or
conspiracy
lost it.
that Donald Trump himself generated out of thin air simply just to be able to try to convince members of the Republican Party to do whatever his bidding was, especially on January 6th, which, by the way, failed. Donald Trump failed in trying to undermine our democracy, and
Are
yet
you
you're
saying
sitting
that
here
he
still defending
caused
him after
January
that
6th?
point.
Are
What?
you saying he caused January 6th?
Absolutely. And he absolutely
he-
condones it. He pardoned the
Did he or
violent
did he
rioters who beat
not
police
say
officers,
to
and he
go
called them
down?
patriots.
Did he or did he not say go down to the Capitol and voice your opinion peacefully in front of the constituents that are down there?
Yeah, and I think he would have had plausible deniability if that was all that happened. He also pardoned those violent rioters, and he called them patriots. He didn't deploy the National Guard as soon as he possibly could have, and he
Was
didn't
not
quell the
the
concerns of the crowd for hours when he could have
did
done so.
did he not ask Nancy Pelosi to give her
Nancy
permission
Pelosi
to take
didn't
that?
have the authorization to do
Oh
that.
yes,
She didn't
she
have the
did.
authority
She
to do
had the
that.
national.
And if it
She
was
was the one that was in
required in
charge.
terms of the authority, then why
She was the
wasn't
one
it
that was in
required?
charge.
But then why wasn't it required when Donald Trump was sending the National Guard to DC when he's president under this administration? Why didn't he have to go to the same individual, right, to be able to
Because
authorize
the
it?
president is ultimate control in Washington D.C. It's
That
not a
you
state.
just conceded.
No, I didn't concede.
The,
Just
the
because
president is the
you wanna
ultimate
cherry pick
control, so then the president can deploy
he
the National
offered
Guard
National Guard
without
troops to her.
consulting Nancy
He
Pelosi.
offered National Guard troops to her the day before January 6th. She turned him down. She's even admitted that.
But you understand that doesn't mean that she turned. Wait, and by the way, she has not admitted that these are Republican talking points. That's what she said, by the way. I just want to clarify.
say it.
She said she didn't have the authority to grant this or not, that it was
did
specifically
have
up to
the
Trump. And by the way,
authority.
let me
She was
just
in
clarify.
charge.
Donald Trump is the commander-in-chief, right? Donald Trump is the president of the United States. Donald Trump has the utmost authority to put the National Guard in there in a situation where there are literally his own supporters trying to incite violence at the Capitol. You know what I mean? Like, I think that you can obviously deploy the National Guard in that circumstance, and I think it's very ridiculous for you to argue like it wouldn't have made sense for him within the first hour to have done that, rather than waiting multiple hours. Let them chant HANG Mike Pence for that long.
Oh, that's right. Mike Pence was in so much danger. People were walking around the Capitol, which is our building, Nate, by the way.
You understand that DJ Rodriguez and plenty of others are literally cops and people on that day, and were pardoned by Donald Trump for that.
Only
you know, they
one person
broke
got
into the
killed.
Capitol. You know, they broke into the Capitol with a riot shield, breaking
Why
through
did
the
they have to
window.
pardon the January 6th committee?
Wait, can you answer the question? Or address what I just said?
Say it again.
They literally broke into the Capitol by breaking a window with a riot shield.
Yeah.
You think that's just peaceful?
There was also 200.
Is that a peaceful protest, sir?
Was that a peaceful protest when they burnt down the entire city of in
No
Wisconsin?
entire city was burnt down.
Oh, it wasn't. Well, they did over $2 billion worth of damage,
That's not an entire city.
and 30-something.
And also, I don't know where that citation is from. So, what
30-something
specific?
people were
Can
murdered
you tell me
during a
what
peaceful
specific
summer.
city, what entire city was burnt down?
Well, all right, not the entire city.
Oh, you
but
see what I
$2
mean?
billion
That was
worth
absurd.
of-
It's
$2
like when you guys say
billion worth of
entire
damage.
city was burnt down, the borders were open. Like, you guys use the most absurd language ever, and just
you ever
act like
been
it's
out of the
okay for you to
state?
say that.
Have you ever gone anywhere? Have you
Gone
ever
anywhere?
been
Where?
anywhere? Do you go out of your state? Have
Yes,
you
I
been out of
have.
the country?
I grew up in Iowa. I've been out of the country as well.
Where to out of the country?
Why do you want to know? Can you tell me every country, every single state, every single city that you've been in your life? No, I'm not going to tell you. Why are you asking me? This is not 20 questions, sir.
Yeah, well, because you act like you know everything, but you don't.
I don't act like I know everything. I'm just talking about what I do know.
Why did they pardon the January 6th committee? Why was there 240-something undercover FBI?
Trump's
contractors?
FBI, by the way. It's FBI under whose control, sir?
Yeah, it was under Trump. How many
Okay,
of them
so his
Trump
own
owned?
FBI conspired against him? So then explain to me why he pardoned them.
He didn't pardon anybody in the FBI. He fired a few of them.
Wait, so then the FBI wasn't involved in January 6th because he pardoned everyone at January 6th.
No, he pardoned the people that
He pardoned everyone.
protested. He pardoned everybody that was mostly peacefully protesting.
Mostly, you had to say mostly. No, DJ Rodriguez
just
drove
like
us.
all your people
Sir,
in
DJ
Wisconsin were
Rodriguez drove a stun gun to
mostly
the neck of
peaceful
Officer
protesters
Fanone.
in
You know that, right? Like
What?
there were countless individuals that cops on that day were convicted of it, many of which pled guilty.
Yeah, they did. And they should have. They went to prison. Most of
Okay.
them went to prison without even due process.
They had due process. That's why they were.
No, they
went-
did not.
Yes, they did. They were
They went
convicted,
straight
sir.
to solitary confinement. They did not get due process.
Sir, right? I literally went through this with someone yesterday. Yes, they did go through due process. They were convicted.
Like I said, you haven't answered.
Do you
the
know
one
what due
question I asked
process
you.
means, sir? And also, by the
Yeah, I
way,
know
when
what it means.
when were Trump supporters the proponents of due process? Really? I thought you guys were the ones undermining our constitution, due process
We
rights
haven't
for people in the
undermined
country.
anything.
You don't
Do
think
you
everyone
know
within
the
the jurisdiction of the
Constitution?
country is granted due process
Do
rights?
you even know what the Constitution is?
Yes, I do. How many amendments
sure?
are in the Constitution, sir?
Enough. Too many, actually.
You don't know, do you?
28, I believe.
It's 27. You're close. You're close. Okay, so what do you know about the Constitution that I don't know? Tell me.
Trump has not gone against the Constitution.
He has. He's literally called for the termination of all rules,
Did-
regulations, and
all right,
articles,
you
even those found in the
heard something on
Constitution.
Truth
He's
Social
violated the
with
First
automatic
Amendment.
gospel.
He's violated the Second Amendment. He's violated the
violate the
Fifth
Second
Amendment.
Amendment?
He has violated the...
Violate the Second Amendment. How?
How? He's tried to strip away guns access for trans Americans.
If you got a mental problem, you can't get a gun.
Wait, being trans isn't a mental problem.
Oh, yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
And also, just a real question. Do you think that people specifically who have anxiety shouldn't be able to get access to their Second Amendment rights?
I think if you have to go through mental problems, you should be questioned on your Second Amendment.
No, I'm just
rights.
asking, do you think people with anxiety should be able to get access to their Second Amendment rights?
Do you think that only one anxiety is out there? Do you
Dude,
get
I'm
anxiety
I'm
at
just
all?
asking you a simple
Do you get
question. Do you think,
anxiety at all?
sir,
Does
do you think
anything
people
make
with
you
anxiety, do you think people
Does
with
anything make
anxiety,
you anxious?
sir, I'm asking you, do you think people with anxiety should be able to get access to right?
No.
Their Second Amendment rights. I'm just asking a
I
basic
don't think
question.
that I don't think anybody with anxiety should not be able to have their Second Amendment right.
Okay, if you have
I'm
anxiety,
saying
you
is,
can't
do
have
you
your
ever
Second
get
Amendment
anxious
rights.
about anything?
Okay. So if you have mental problems, do you think men who wear makeup have mental problems?
Do you think men who think they are women
Wait,
have
hold up.
mental problems?
Can you listen? Do you think men who wear makeup have mental
No, I'm
problems?
not saying about the makeup. And I've seen all kinds of people dress up in makeup for different parties and different things like that. When you sit there and tell me that you should be treated as a woman, that you should be allowed in female locker rooms,
Like
you
Donald
have
Trump
mental
said?
issue.
Wait, do you want to hear this real quick? Take a listen to this real quick, because you say that you have a problem with that, but then like let's see if you actually do real quick. Just take a quick listen. This is talk about mental problems. This is a mental problem right here.
That I'll go to do that.
So you have done that. Now, tell
Well,
me
I'll
what
tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else, and no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting.
Right,
I want to
right.
make sure that
You're like a
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women, and so I sort of get away with things like that.
What are your thoughts, sir?
I don't like it.
Would you still support Trump now that you've heard this?
Well, I'm sorry. He who is without sin cast the first stone.
Weren't you just casting stones towards Democrats?
They cast him first. And you still haven't answered why they had to pardon the January
Well, since
6th
you've
committee.
cast
Why
stone
did the
towards
January
me.
6th committee
Wait, sir,
destroy evidence?
are you saying because someone else cast stones, that means you can cast stones?
I didn't say I was perfect.
So couldn't Democrats use that same justification and say that Republicans did it first?
Now you know why we're in the position we're in. Because everybody's doing nothing to solve anything. They're just doing to cast stones at everybody. Well, let me
Okay.
ask you a question.
What does that even mean? What does that
solution
mean?
has the
Cast
Democrat
stones? Like,
Party-
can you just let's just clarify this now?
What solution has the Democrat Party offered to anything?
Oh, universal access to health care, child care,
wait a minute,
expanding
wait a
access to
minute, I
child
get the
care,
answer.
wanting to expand the
I get
child
the
tax
answer. I
credit.
get the answer to that. Don't I
Okay.
get the answer?
Dude, you asked me to name some things
There
and
is
I'm
no
naming them,
healthcare
but you're
problem.
cutting me off.
There is no health care problem in this country.
No. I do think that this is a policy they're advocating for, not a policy that's been passed. Are you asking for policies that have been passed?
No, I'm saying we have no health care problem in this country. You're acting like everybody's
Wait,
dying.
what? Wait, 45 to 68,000 American lives are lost every single year due to lack of health insurance. The number
I'm
one
sorry,
leading
didn't
cause.
Obamacare
Can I please
take care of
finish?
that
Can I please finish? Can I please finish? The number one leading cause of personal bankruptcies is the lack of ability to pay your medical bills. Okay, 130 million Americans struggling with medical debt in this country. Okay, we spend twice as much per individual within this country on healthcare expenditure and have worse average health outcomes comparative to all the other almost all the other OECD countries. So it is ridiculous that we live in the current system of healthcare right now. To say that we have no problems is so devoid of reality and out of touch.
No, it's not that we don't have problems. It's my point is Obamacare was supposed to take care of all of that.
No, it
That's
wasn't.
why y'all forced it and mandated it on the United States when they should have never been allowed to do that.
Yeah, so you understand that like Obamacare was a compromise because of the fact that Democrats didn't have enough votes in Congress in order to be able to get a sort of multi-payer public option fully passed through the context
what
of Congress.
compromise was that?
What compromise?
Yeah, because not one Republican voted for Obamacare. Not one.
I understand, but you understand that there were Democrats specifically, right, that are disagreeing with it, right, and that you need enough Democrats to be able to vote for this legislation. So the
did
fact
have
that
enough.
there is the existence of those specific Republicans, right, then limits the ability for them to even do so in the first place, because that's a
Not
huge
a touch,
portion of the
but
party,
you're
and then you have to
blowing this.
negotiate with the most moderate members of the Democratic Party for all of these different types of elements, which
You
ensured
got
that it
it
wasn't
passed.
applicable to all individuals and taking care of everyone.
You got it passed. And who?
Yeah,
who's
I
the one
understand,
who-
but you're not understanding the conditions that it doesn't
Yeah,
actually
no.
meet
You
all of the
understand that there was
wait, please listen.
veto-proof
Please listen.
majority.
It doesn't
You
meet
passed
all of
that
our
bill.
objectives.
You passed that bill. There wasn't a compromise. There was nobody else involved in
There
it.
is.
Every Democrat passed that bill.
You understand that there's compromise amongst the most moderate members of the Democratic Party? Like, for example, like under Biden's administration, it was Manchin and Sinema. Okay?
They still voted for it.
Yeah,
had
you have to
60
you have to
votes.
understand that they voted for a watered down version because they were watering it down. You have to understand that we need more
that's
Democrats
your
in
Democrat
Congress.
Party,
Listen,
buddy.
We need more Democrats in Congress overall so that we can have more individuals that are going to represent the needs for the universal access to healthcare rather than like the proportionality that like there are going to be some Democrats that are going to vote against the universal access to healthcare. Okay?
No.
We need to have
You're
enough
voting.
Democrats so that
There
those
should be
small
no
portion of the
problem with
Democrats can't water down the bill.
There should be no problem with health care. You got the unconstitutionally Obamacare passed.
You say there should be no
and it
problem.
was
Yes, there
made
should be
to
no.
fail.
Well, obviously there should be as little problems as we possibly can make it, but we haven't created a system to do that. You know that, right?
Yeah, we had a system to do that.
What's Trump's plan?
I don't care about Trump's plan. I know what I have to do as a human.
So I think you said just like him. It's just concepts of a plan, right?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I have insurance.
Good for you. You know, I'm saying that I want everyone covered in the country.
I bet you think there's people starving to death in this country too.
There are people starving in this country, and you understand that socialized systems prevent people from starving to death. Okay, so if we didn't have these socialized systems and funded systems, listen, if we don't have these socialized systems, right, that fund the prevention of people dying, right, relating to not being able to have food, we will have more people starving. And that's what Republicans are doing. Republicans are cutting food stamps. Okay, we should have no food insecurity in this country.
We don't.
We do. You're being
No, we
ridiculous.
don't.
To say that we do not have food insecurity in the country is so unbelievably ridiculous.
To say that we have starving people here proves to me that you've never been to another third world country.
Wait, just because people are starving to a greater extent in other countries doesn't mean people aren't starving
No,
here.
because they don't have government help. When
Wait,
you
so you're
starve
saying the
down there,
government
you
help is
starve.
better?
When you starve down there.
So are you
starve.
saying the government help is better, that the people aren't
No,
able
but
to
if
get
you
access to
don't,
the
I'll
help
tell
they
you what
need
they
if they
do
don't
have that
have
we
government
don't.
help?
I'll tell you what they do have that we don't have. Pride.
What the does this
You
mean?
ever seen a boy get up at 4 o'clock in the morning at 7 or 8 years old and get on a bus and travel 4 hours to a city so he can stand there all day and shine shoes for a couple of pennies?
No, I haven't, and
then
that's
take a
a
4-hour
horrible thing,
yeah.
and that shouldn't happen.
Yeah, but he does it and he's proud to do it. We don't have a food
Wait,
problem
do you
in this
agree?
country.
Do you
We
think
have
that
a
should happen?
laziness problem.
Do you think that should happen?
There's nothing I can do about it. I can't change the world.
But no, but do you think it's morally wrong? Do you disagree with child labor?
No, I disagree with it. He shouldn't have to live that
Okay.
way, but he does. But he has more pride
So what's your
in
point?
himself living that way
So
than we have.
what's your point?
There's nobody starving in this country. There might be a few hungry people, but they're not starving because.
So
we
wait,
have
by the
more
way, he's going
access
to point to the conditions being worse for a particular individual in a different country to then mean that conditions aren't bad for people in this country. That's an absurd argument.
Well, you can say it's absurd all
Because
you want, but it's the
just
truth.
because conditions are worse for other people does not mean conditions can't be bad in any way for you. Imagine saying this to like your partner in a relationship. Like any problem they bring up, you're like, you know, there are other people in other relationships where like people are like abusive and horrible, and that then justifies my behavior because I'm not as bad as them. Like, can you imagine
See,
saying
but
that?
see,
Like, that's the
you're
most
acting-
absurdly
yeah,
ridiculous
you wanna-
argument.
You want to use half the argument and then act like I'm the bad guy because I mentioned something. I'm not the guy that's causing anybody to not have food. I'm not the guy that's causing anybody.
You
to not
support
have
Trump,
healthcare.
who cut people's access to food stamps. You support Trump,
No,
who
they
cut people's
fraud.
access to
They cut
Medicaid.
Fraud. Why can't
That's
you
not
say the
fraud.
word fraud?
It's not
Oh,
fraud.
there is
Had
fraud.
nothing.
There's
You know,
rampant
within those
fraud.
bills that cut people off those access to those things, it doesn't even have the word fraud within them. You know that, right?
What's wrong with somebody who's poor working 20 hours a week?
You understand that
to
like
get
the
those food
conditions
stamps?
are that for people specifically, especially disabled Americans who have not yet qualified for disability, that they're going to be disenfranchised by that system, that the main beneficiaries of food stamps are children predominantly. So even if you think that the actions of the adults specifically are bad, right, then you still can't use that as a justification to take it out on the children who are the main beneficiaries of food stamps.
You telling me those kids can't get food at school?
You know that they cut that off because of the food stamps. 420,000 kids cut off their access to free school lunch and breakfast on average every single month because of the big beautiful bill. I literally
and
cited
every
that
one of those
earlier. Like,
kids-
oh, they
every
can't
one
get
of those
food at
kids'
school.
families
No, because the
food
Republicans are
stamps.
cutting that too.
Oh yeah, everything's cut for you guys. So you don't want
I never said everything is cut, but I'm saying that people are being cut off. People
If
are getting
you're
reduced
able to
access to
work,
it. Not
time to
everyone,
get
but
a
people are getting
job.
reduced access to it.
If you're able to work, time to get a job.
You understand that that's not the condition that's established within this, because there has to be an adjudication process. So for people specifically who have yet to be able to get through that process, they are going to lose access to their main benefits that they need.
And they didn't even say you had to have a paying job. They said you can go down and volunteer services, 20 hours a week. You're going to tell me they can't do that, but they can go out and get tattoos and have a 60-inch flat screen and 24.
Dude, what you think? You think the average person who specifically needs to live off of food stamps has a 60-inch flat screen? Sure, sir, I don't have a 60-inch flat screen.
Well, you're one of the few.
You, what you mean? One of the few that doesn't have a 60-inch flat screen?
You want to know what privilege is?
Yeah, tell me.
Sitting in an apartment with a grocery full of groceries, and getting food stamps while somebody else goes out and works, and you don't have to pay a dime for where you're living at.
You understand that's not how it works for people. So if people are just living for free, why don't you do it?
Because I have too much pride in myself.
So just for pride? So you're gonna work 8 hours, 5 days a week just for pride?
I worked 8 hours, 5 days a week. I worked 10 hours, 5 and 6 days a week. When I was in the military, I worked 17 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Is that supposed to be like a W, dude?
In my opinion, yes.
I'm like that's actually like to me that sounds horrible.
Sounds horrible?
Like no one should have to work 17 hours a day. That's nuts.
Do you want to get ahead in life, or is this your way of getting ahead? You think somebody's
I think I'm doing pretty fine in life. I think I'm doing pretty fine in life, but like you gotta have work-life balance. It's important to have that. It's not good to just throw yourself into 17-hour days and like completely cut off you from the rest of your life. You're going to cut off your foundation for yourself mentally.
I was off the coast of Iran. Didn't have a choice.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, like, you obviously in those conditions, like, you're in the military, but I'm just saying, like, it's not like, you shouldn't be like, oh, this is the standard that everyone else should be holding themselves to. If that's something that you want to do for yourself, go for it. That's all you. But it's not something to be like, oh, everyone else should be doing this. I think that's kind of the point that I'm making here.
I didn't say everybody else should be doing it. I don't think you should be able to just sit there on your ass and not do anything and have everybody take care of it.
That's not what happens. So I don't know what you're getting that from.
It happens a lot, buddy. Believe me. Look,
you mean like Donald Trump? Because Donald Trump's the one doing that.
I've been in there where I was living in a trailer park and got evicted from that.
Dude,
so don't think I haven't been there. Don't think I haven't been on the wrong side of it. But you pick yourself up and you go.
So again, but we want safety nets to ensure that if people are in those conditions, that there's a leg that they can get up so that they can give themselves opportunity, right? It's to help them have more opportunity in their lives. It's not just to provide people the basic necessities. It's also to provide people the ability to have social mobility. Because inevitably, people aren't on these systems their entire life, unless it's in the context of necessity. Typically, people are on these systems in transitionary periods of their life, right? Which makes sense, and it should be there for those situations.
But how long should you be on welfare?
It depends on the situation.
No. You got a person that loses their job and they go on welfare. If they would make the system give you welfare, this was my plan years ago. I would give you welfare and food stamps and pay your rent for 1 year. Then at the end of 1 year, I'm going to continue. Well, before that year's up, I'm going to give you a training session. I'm going to teach you a trade so you can go get a real job to make something else. And this is the problem when people would try to get off welfare. They stopped it right away. So you don't have time to build anything up. So if they would give them, say, 12 months after they have trained them to get a job, to get food stamps, or keep the food stamps up, so that's up. So they have time to build themselves back up.
So you just want like a federal jobs program. You sound like a Democrat.
It's not a federal job. Look, how many trades do you think are in the federal government?
No, you want a federal jobs program to help get people jobs. That's a social service. You're now explaining a governmental social service.
If I could get people
to help people get jobs, sir. Like I actually agree that there should be social services to like help people get jobs. I don't disagree with that.
Okay, but it was only for 24 months. Not a
wait. No, I just want to clarify the whole 24 months thing. I mean, I don't think that's all necessary, but even so, I think that's more than what Republicans would be asking for in typical. So I'm not gonna lie. I think you're gonna be to the left of the Republican Party on that particular issue. What's that?
They're letting you stay on these programs.
The Republicans?
Yes. You just got to qualify.
Name one that says that you can stay on the program for more than 2 years.
All it says is you got to qualify.
No, I just want to hear name two Republicans that think
20 hours a week and we'll give you your benefits. If you're able-bodied, You leave out the word able-bodied.
You have to understand, though, how you define those things and adjudicate those from an overall or societal perspective, because that can then lead to people being disenfranchised.
How many people disenfranchise themselves anymore?
Well, okay, why are you blaming the person rather than blaming the system that
Because
Trump is causing?
There's no accountability in this
Well,
country.
there's no accountability for Trump, okay? That's what you're not acknowledging, is that I'm pointing things specifically that Trump has done. You can't even point to specific actions these individuals have done. And even so, by the way, we want everyone in our society to be okay, to be fed, regardless of the decisions they make. Everyone should be fed. Is that a complicated thing to you? Everyone should be fed?
Well, they get fed in prison.
So you just think that if someone's poor, they should be put in prison?
No, you're always trying to put words in people's mouths. When is the accountability towards that person count?
Well, again, I would tell people it's reasonable if you have the capacity to work. Wait, listen, it's reasonable to say that if you have the capacity to work, that you should work because that helps you build yourself up for your life. No one's disputing that, but what you're not understanding is that when you limit access to basic necessities by saying if you don't meet this particular threshold, inevitably will have harmful consequences on people that you do deserve should have access to it.
Do you believe
or you think do deserve to have access to it?
Do you believe that you should have somebody sit there and look at you and say, hey, you, I'm not working, you feed me?
I would prefer, like, if they have the ability to work, that they can also work and create a life for themselves. But also, I think that a governmental system should exist that will ensure that they're fed regardless.
What if he says to you, I'm not working, you feed me?
That person still should be fed.
How much of your money are you going to give them?
Well, we already do that through taxes.
But how much of your money are you giving them? You don't feed everybody.
I live in California, so I'm giving my money.
Oh, well, you guys are, never mind. You guys are off the rocks or anyway.
You guys are off the rocks. So now I'm living by my word.
Let me see. What is your word? There is no border.
No, I believe in a border.
You don't need to.
Never said no border. No one ever claimed that.
No. California says it shouldn't be.
No, that's not what California says. California also can't determine that because it's a state, not the federal government. The only one that can determine how the border is operating is the federal government.
Who stopped?
Yeah, actually, Texas found that out wrong under the Biden administration.
Who stopped the federal government from coming to their border in California? Ooh, your daddy, Governor Newsom.
I'm pretty sure the galaxy. No, you mean the National Guard from being sent in?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and by the way, W. Newsom there for doing that, and the National Guard is that you have to have the consent of the governor. So.
Yep. So I guess the governor did have control of that, didn't he? And who? Let me see. What?
Wait, that's for the governor, sir.
You don't need to be able to speak English and know a street sign to get a CDL.
Wait, and also, by the way, let me just clarify. The situation was not present that there was an attack at the Capitol. An insurrection of the Capitol. In the situation of an insurrection of the Capitol, that gives you emergency authorization. I just want to clarify that.
Please show me who was charged with insurrection. Name one.
Wait, so actually, the January 6th indictment specifically that has yet to be carried through. Jack Smith has beyond a reasonable doubt evidence towards Donald Trump. And by the way, let me just be very clear.
Is this the same evidence?
Can you define insurrection?
Is this the same evidence that said that Trump was
Can you define insurrection, sir?
Yes, I can.
Go ahead.
Oh, now I got to give you the whole thing? Well,
yes.
I don't know. It's the first unarmed insurrection I've ever seen.
There were people that were armed, for sure.
Yeah, the Capitol Police, and they shot an unarmed Air Force veteran and killed her.
So Ashley Babbitt did have a knife on her. It wasn't brandished, but she did have a knife. Okay.
Yeah,
they had a noose. They were screaming "Hang Mike Pence." They specifically, a lot of people came with like specific weapons. Like for example, there was people broke in with a riot shield. DJ Rodriguez drove a stun gun to the neck of Officer Fanone. They were trying to go after Officer Fanone's gun and his taser, and they happened to grab his taser because they couldn't grab his gun because he was protecting his gun.
And where is this on video?
This is something that DJ Rodriguez pled guilty to and was convicted of. So.
Okay, he pled guilty and was convicted. Not a problem. I don't have a problem with that.
And you know what happened? Donald Trump pardoned him.
How long should he have been in prison for that?
You want to know what happened? Donald Trump pardoned him.
How long should he have been in prison for
that? For the full sentence of his term, if not life.
Oh, it should be life.
Yeah, actually, I think that if you go and assault a police officer in an insurrection at the Capitol for a basis for like the election wasn't stolen, and you literally are just undermining the country, yeah, you should be in prison for life. That's ridiculous.
Nobody was charged with insurrection.
I have no problem with saying that, by the way.
Facts or not, do you?
I just want to be very clear here. You claim that over and over again, but the January 6th indictment says otherwise.
The January 6th indictment does not mention the word insurrection. Not one
What are you
person was
talking
ever
about?
charged with insurrection.
Yeah, so insurrection is just a violent uprising against the government, specifically, especially in the context of the situation where it's at the Capitol. This was a violent uprising against the government relating to a Capitol, and again, it was for illegitimate means. Okay, they said the election was stolen. There's no evidence for that. They were wrong. It's not like the actual conditions were that like the country had a rigged election or whatever. We live in a country with a very, very strong democracy. Okay, the person undermining our democracy are not the people undermining our democracy are not the Democrats. It's specifically people like Donald Trump that create distrust within our public systems and our public institutions. It's people like Donald Trump that get 70% of the Republican Party to believe the election was stolen with literally no evidence. Okay,
We don't live in a democracy.
we do. We live in a representative democracy and a constitutional republic, sir.
Constitutional republic.
Yeah, and that's compatible with a representative democracy. We are
Where do
both
you-
a
where do you get
constitutional
that
republic
from?
and a representative democracy.
Where do you get that from?
History, right? From our constitution,
Sorry,
from how our
I'm
government is
just
set
looking
up.
at what the founders said. You know, I've given you a constitutional
Sir,
republic.
listen.
If
We
you
are
can
listen,
keep
you're not
it.
listening. We are a constitutional republic and a representative democracy. Can you tell me
When did
what
we
you
become
think?
a
Wait, listen.
representative
This is the
republic?
perfect
When did we
question to
become
ask.
it?
Watch this. Perfect question. Can you tell me what is the contradiction between a representative democracy and a constitutional republic?
Yeah, in a constitutional republic, all of my private property belongs to me. In a democracy, if the majority wants it, they can take it from me.
No, representative democracy, we vote people into positions of power, right, to then vote for us. And it's guided by a constitutional republic, okay?
Tell me
So
you
it's
went to
both a
school
representative
in
democracy
California.
and a constitutional republic, because representative democracy just means that we're voting for representatives that represent us within the context of government.
Tell me you went to school in California without saying you went to school in California.
I went to school in Iowa. I grew up in Iowa, sir.
Yeah, well, you obviously didn't listen. You must have had a learning disability.
I did. Wow, you
We
just tried to insult me by saying I had a learning disability. One, I did not have a learning
See, that's
disability,
another
and
problem with
two,
you
it's
all.
not an
Is
insult
everything an
for you to
insult
say
to
that.
you?
That's a fucking disgusting. That's a disgusting fucking thing for you to try to do.
Is everything an insult to
No,
you people?
no, I mean, you literally just tried to literally insult
won't
me by
even
saying
make
I had a
somebody
learning
who just-
disability, so you were trying to
won't even make
stigmatize people
somebody-
with learning disabilities.
Really, dude?
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah, that's what you just did,
won't,
sir.
You won't let the guy that just sat there on his couch and told
And
you
also, by the way, let me
you
just be
are not
clear.
working,
Zeus, thank you for the
be-
racing debut. Thank you. Let's just be very clear. If you're going to talk about how we did in school, I think I did very fine in school, okay? I've performed well in school my whole life. I don't know why that's a problem.
How old were you when you moved to California?
I was, 13? 12, 13?
I'd be interested to find out how you acted before you moved to California.
Okay, and? I was a Trump supporter when I moved to California. I was a Trump supporter while living in California, okay? In high school.
So you've been indoctrinated and you changed. But you still
No,
haven't answered.
no, I've heard arguments that were preferable, and I've realized
was
that my
Trump
views
a
actually
Russian
aligned
asset?
with like the people who don't want to undermine the country's democracy, constitution, rule of law.
Here you go with the democracy. I guarantee you didn't learn that in Iowa.
I did. That's actually exactly what I learned in Iowa.
When did Trump become a Russian asset?
I never claimed he was specifically a Russian asset.
Oh, it's been claimed and you know it has.
Did I claim that, sir?
When did the Constitution allow you to spy on a campaign?
When did the Constitution allow? What aspect of the Constitution prevents you from trying to spy on another campaign?
You're not allowed to do that in America.
Well, yes, you can. Like, if you watch videos, for example, that could be understanding of spying. Now, there are certain things that you could do that, like, for example, Watergate, right? Using that to spy on your political opponents, that could be considered wrong. But J.D. Vance said recently that if Watergate happened today, it would just be like a typical Tuesday.
Yeah, according to the Democrats.
No, according to J.D. Vance, sir.
No, look, see. come
That's
on,
what
man.
J.D. Vance said, sir.
Now you can't even understand conjecture. What
What?
he's talking about is the outrage there was during Watergate would not even be coming close today if it happened today. He didn't say, hey, it's no big problem.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. He said that no way it would have taken down this administration. It would have been a typical Tuesday.
Yeah, and that's how the media would treat it today, as long as it was against
No,
Republicans.
that's just how crazy this administration is.
This is the administration that was spied on.
This administration tried to spy on other people. What are you talking about, sir?
When? I'm sorry. When did Obama and Hillary Clinton get together and get the phony dossier put out? And how they decided they were going to ruin his first candidacy right then. Yeah, now you don't want to believe any of that because that doesn't fit your narrative.
What were they convicted of? What were they charged
There you
of?
go.
Were they
Okay.
charged of anything?
Well, what insurrection was?
Sir, were they charged with anything? Trump said that Hillary was going to go to jail. When did that happen?
Well, a lot of people said she should be in jail
Yeah, but like, how come he didn't do it?
because he didn't have anybody that would back him on it.
No one would back him
why
on
do
it?
we- why do
Really?
we want to say
Really?
that?
You don't think anyone in the Republican Party would back him on that? Really?
Look, there's as many. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now. There's as many corrupt Republicans as there is Democrats.
There's more corrupt Republicans than Democrats.
Oh, okay.
Including the president.
Democrats are all for the people, right?
The
How about
president
that,
is the
Dom?
most
You're-
corrupt
you're
candidate in
wanting
modern
socialism
history.
and
The
communism.
president dropped a meme coin and rug pulled it. The sitting president, right now, dropped a meme coin so that his supporters would buy it, and then he rug pulled it.
Where's your proof?
The $1.4 billion that he just cited he made in crypto ventures,
He doesn't even get involved in it.
he has made the most individual stock trades of any modern president. Because no other modern president makes individual stock trades, but Trump.
He's not doing it.
As president, by the way. He is.
He has people that run his accounts. He doesn't do it.
Yeah, he literally talked about how his kids have insider information when they're doing business deals.
He didn't say they have insider information.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
That's literally what he said.
Well, I guess it's a shame that his kids aren't drunk and drug addicts like Joe Biden.
So wait, by the way, you can't say any specific DRUG name. I just want to let you know that. And also, by the way, somehow it's only wrong with Hunter Biden, which, by the way, there's really no basis for saying that was true with Hunter Biden. But you can say it's true specifically with Trump's kids because Trump admitted it. Again, Trump incriminating himself, which, by the way, he doesn't care about because he's already a criminal.
But you can't say that Joe did anything wrong?
No, I can definitely say that Joe did wrong. You think I have the inability to critique Democrats? I don't have
you seem
TDS. I don't have Trump devotion syndrome.
No, you have Trump derangement syndrome.
No, you have Biden derangement syndrome. And
I don't have
TDS,
anything.
Trump devotion syndrome. That's what you
You
have.
can say his name, but I
Hey,
can't.
sir, can I ask you a question? What makes you think that I have TDS?
Because you say it when it just oozes out of you.
It oozes out of you? How so? What makes you think that?
Every one of your answers, that's how.
Every one of your answers. Be specific.
Well, when I mentioned them spying on it, it's okay.
What?
Why do I got to bring up Hillary? Why you got to bring that up? Everybody spies on people. You know, you can see it in your, it just oozes out of you.
No, I would not justify. By the way, Tina, thank you for the future of the city. Thank you very much. I said it depends on the type of notion of spying that you're referencing. If the notion of spying is that you're specifically looking at social media posts of your other candidate to then say, oh, what should we do in response to this particular thing they're doing, right? I don't have a problem with that. If your notion of spying specifically is like Watergate, they're using literally criminal acts to be able to then spy on their political opponents, that's wrong.
So you're saying the Russian dossier wasn't a criminal act?
What was she charged of?
Oh, just because they got away with it doesn't mean it wasn't a criminal act.
Okay, well, so then what was criminal and what crime?
Saying he was in cahoots with the Russia?
Saying to investigate that.
Saying he was a Russian asset?
Can you give me the quote of Hillary Clinton saying that Trump is a Russian asset?
Well, I can't pull it up on my phone while I'm talking to you, but yeah.
I can. Yes, you
it's
can. You
out
can
there.
swipe out of the app and go look it up.
If I swipe out, I ain't coming back.
You're not gonna come back? I'll look it up for you. Is Russian asset? I don't see her saying it about Trump. She said that about Tulsi Gabbard, but I don't see anything about Trump. I don't see anything. So if you want to keep making a point, you can. I can't hear you while you're swiped out of the app, just letting you know. Alrighty, give them a minute to come back in the information. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. Brand, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Parker, Trump didn't rug pull the meme coin. He has people that rug pull meme coins for him. Brand. Dark Aura, thank you to the Galaxy. Thank you very much. Sipulation, thank you so much. Appreciate the $1. Thank you. Your mic is turned up way louder than the guest. Oh, yeah, I did turn down the audio and the volume because it was a little loud yesterday. That could be me. I'm going to try to fix that. There we go. This might be a little bit better. There we go. They just left. By the way, what was their name?